Okay, let's take a look at the ACD, or what we refer to as queues. ACD in the industry stands for automatic call distribution. We just refer to them on the VoxIP system as queues. They're the exact same thing. If you look at queues versus ring groups, the number one difference between the two is if there's nobody available in a ring group, the call rings all the phones that it's been configured to ring, and then it goes to a call destination, whether it's a voicemail to another IVR, to another ring group. It just works its way through there. But queues act totally different. Queues actually have the status of the agent, and they know when a call comes in who's available and who to route that call to. If no agents are available, it actually queues the call up like a print job, and it waits for the next available agent. That alone right there is the major difference between the two. But there's a plethora of other things. Like, for example, you'll see here in a minute, we can have agent timeouts, how long the calls stay in the queue before they go to call coverage, what music on hold we want to play. So there's a big difference between the two. And last but not least, hunt group or ring groups come by default on the VoxIP system. Queues or ACDs is a license you have to purchase to have that functionality. It's a one-time license. Once you purchase it, it enables the system for the lifetime of that product to have queue capabilities. So let's go ahead and log into the queues, and once again it's under Application and Queues. We're going to add a queue just like we did before, and once again we're going to give it a queue number or an extension number. So once again, when an inbound call comes in, let's say you have a sales group and they have their own dedicated 800 number. We just tell that 800 number when it receives that DID to route it to this queue number or this extension. So I'm just going to use 6000. Once again, I could have used anything I want because the VoxIP system gives you that flexibility. We're going to give it a queue name, just call it sales, and then we're going to add a password. Now this password is used for agents to log in and log off, and this gives you the ability to control access into the queue and servicing these calls. Very important you make obviously a strong queue password, and you can put that as a speed dial on your phone to log in and out of the system. By default, we can have a lot more information. We still have the ability to do alert info, to have a alert number put on top of that SIP protocol and make the phones ring a specific ring so they can identify internal versus external, and even identify another alert info for the ACD calls. We have the ring strategies once again, as you can see, just like we had before, but it's a little bit more now. It's more higher based or more complicated algorithms that are used than before. We also have the ability to skip busy agents. That means don't ring their phones. And then we can come down here and we can actually build music on hold classes. We can actually say, hey, I just want to hear for the ACD customer agent ringing or ring only on their phones, and the agent ring will give them a different kind of ring tone so they can know that they're in a different type of holding pattern. Also, their joint announcement. You can also do when there's no agents available, the actual callers can be notified, hey, nobody's available if you want to. You can turn on call recording, and there's also the destination. So after so many, however long you want the queue to take place, it's got to go somewhere. And once again, you can just route it back into the queue if you wanted to, or send it someplace else. But if you look up here at the top, here's some other more powerful capabilities. And one of the things, we can define the extensions of static agents or dynamic agents. And static agents means that phone is always logged in. Dynamic agents gives them the capability to log in and out and when they want to. 9 times out of 10, when you get to this kind of call center environment, you want them to log out because you're trying to pull not only information about the calls that are coming in, but also the performance of your agent. And you can see here we can provide how long it rings on their phone, how long the customer is allowed to stay in the queue. You can also see down here, if you look, there's give them the ability to do some wrap-up time. So let's say I'm an agent. I just placed an order for a customer. I need to put all that information into the CRM. I can give them wrap-up time in seconds, however long I want to do that. So this is another advance compared over to the hunt groups, because once again, the hunt groups, they're just going to ring through the phone. If nobody answers, they're on their way. Also, you can do some caller announcement to the customer to let them know what their position, how long the average hold time has been. And once again, the average hold time is the number of calls that come in, how long they were on the call, and then it does a mathematical calculation to give the end user a hold time hey, this is what we think it is. The last 10 calls were on for 3 minutes, so we think it's going to be 3 minutes. So it's easy for the system to do that for you. And you also have the ability to create, within periodic announcements, a breakout menu. So let's say I've been on hold for 6 minutes. I've got a breakout. I can give the customer a breakout capability, just go to a voicemail, or they can just press another button to hang up. You also have the ability as the, let's say I'm the queue manager and I'm the ACD manager, the call center manager, and I've got 10 agents. And let's say we run this system 24/7. It gives me the ability to log in and reset the stats in my shift if you wanted to do that as well. So as you can see, queues are highly more configurable, more complex. They give you a lot more options than just hunt or ring groups as we call them. And we start seeing this when customers want to pull out business intelligence. They want to see how many calls came in, which you can do some CDR reports and get that information on every extension. But this really gives you a whole nother level of statistical analysis that you have for your business. That we also have a third-party company that we work with called iSymphony, where you can actually have desktop applications that connect to the queue and give you the ability to drag and drop, have the queue manager monitor the status of all their agents real time. So it's a full-blown enterprise-based queue center. And obviously adding the license and then adding the software on top of that, there are some extra fees that you'd have to pay. So I wanted to definitely do this video. This is the main difference between queues and ring groups. Thank you for watching this video. The next video coming up, we're going to talk about IVR/auto attendance. We'll look forward to that.